Hi, Meredith.
Cool.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Good morning.
And where are you at?
You guys
I'm in
must have met at some point, I swear.
You're in Portland.
But
I live in Portland also.
Okay.
I'm about 10 minutes away from Jen.
Cool.
And I was sorry for the delay. I was waiting for my kids to get out of the house in case you were recording.
Yeah, that's what Jen said.
But they're gone now. Their dad took them on a drive for at least 20 minutes. I told him I would text him when it was free for them to come back home.
Yeah, this
Get
one.
out of here.
I just want to catch up with you guys. First of all, how did you guys hook up?
go, Mayor, go. Tell the story. It's a San Diego tale, actually.
It
Kevin.
is?
Yeah.
Of how we met?
Yeah, how did you guys start singing together?
Well, yeah, we were both living in San Diego, and we were doing a production of Footloose up at Moonlight Amphitheater in Vista.
Okay.
And it was the first day of rehearsal, and we met on the first day of rehearsal. We were the only two that weren't really talking to anybody, I think. Both of us were like kind of waiting to dive into the mayhem of like,
Yeah.
and we didn't know anybody yet, or I don't know. We were taking it easy, so we were kind of playing wallflower, and then we locked eyes and we were like, "Hey, you're pretty cool." I think we were both reading books, and then in that first conversation, realized that we were both singer-songwriters playing guitar, and I think that night or very shortly after, we decided to go to our first open mic together, and the rest is history. We're commuting. It was about an hour drive from where we were in San Diego up to the theater.
Yeah.
And so had about 2 hours in the car together every day.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the bonding moment. And then we have been
Best
friends
friends
ever
ever
since.
since.
Yeah.
What open mic was it?
Oh man.
I think
Gosh.
I know. Do you know?
You think you know? Really?
I think it was called the Tiki Lounge in Pacific Beach.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think you're right. I can picture the stage. I can picture like, I remember what you sang.
Nice.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Siren Songs is the name of your duo.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we shouldn't do anything visual, huh? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to play this for my Patreon people, but the audio, we'll just play the audio for the rest of the world. Listen to the podcast. But and by the way, thank you. Jen Grinnell's was the first person I'd ever heard of Patreon, and also Stage It, which is funny because now people are starting to use it again, and you were like doing it way back when it wasn't cool. I mean, it was cool. It was so cool that people couldn't even latch on it.
Cooler now because they give you more money now.
Oh,
So,
that's good. And it's
got that.
necessary. Thank God we have something like that on all these platforms. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know you're doing some Stage It shows and stuff. So just quick, separately, where do people find your music, Jen?
My music, all the links to it. Well, any platform, any major platform.
Okay.
And then, of course, jengrinnells.com. But from jengrinnells.com, you can also get to Siren Songs. I have a tab.
Great. And Meredith, where does your music live?
Gosh, well, I haven't had a major release of my own in too long to point people in that direction. I think I've been focusing mostly on theater for the last few years, but you can go to my website, meredithkclark.com, and my music is available there for purchase. I have a Joni Mitchell tribute album that I put out about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it's been 4. And that's kind of my most recent release, because I got very infatuated with her album Blue. And so I did a tribute album and tour that concert. So yeah, go to my website and that's where you can find my stuff.
Okay, cool. And then Siren Songs has just released, is this brand new? Goodnight Sun, Hello Moon. How long has that been out?
3 days, 4 days.
Good. Hey, okay.
It's a baby.
It's a baby.
I can smell the baby powder. Tell me about that song, and there's a video as well. Yeah.
No, not yet. There's
Okay.
not. We had like a promo video of us like walking through a field,
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
thinking, yes, like humming. That song has had like kind of a magical little journey. It, I think I wrote it maybe a year or so ago, maybe a little more than that. And I wrote it originally for a musical that I was working on, which was supported partially through Patreon. Yay, Patreon! And the musical it's based in the Civil War, and so the challenge and the producers wanted the challenge of it, and what the producers wanted was something that could be harkened back to the Civil War type of music, but also would sound modern. So something like Mumford and Sons, or Brandy Carlisle, like, or maybe old school Americana. So the challenge in this one part was to write a lullaby, and also to write songs for this musical that you didn't have to like musical theater. You could still like the song, like
Yeah.
not just like Broadway, that sort of thing. So I wrote this lullaby, but like Catherine, you probably relate to this. It was one of those songs where I mean, it was weird because for a musical, they're like, here's the challenge, like, here you have to write this type of song and, blah, blah. So I knew I had to write a lullaby, and I was just like beating my head against a wall for like a month because I was like, about what? Like,
Right.
what do you write a lullaby about? It could be about anything, like
Yeah.
cradles falling out of trees. Who knows? So I just was like, I just don't know. And then I kind of woke up one morning after like 30 days of struggling, and I was like, bird migration. It's a metaphor. Like the character is going south because she was fighting the war. She was going to head south, and I was like, it's perfect. So I had been working on melodies, and it was just weird how like the different melodies like that morning just like came together, like, oh, take this and this, and it just like came out in like 10 minutes, and it felt like I didn't even write it. It felt like it just came through me, and it was just one of those special little songs. And then shared it on Patreon, and then this group with Meredith and I started, and everything was kind of Americana folk based. And I think we kind of just was like, we were like, that song fits us perfectly. I mean, it doesn't need the musical.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. I remember hearing it because I'm one of Jen's patrons, and I remember hearing it and being like, "Oh, that is like, what a magical song!" Like I was overwhelmed with how emotional it was and how beautiful it was, and then I noticed when I heard the recording that Jen was harmonizing with herself, and I like, had this vision like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to harmonize with that? And then I just kind of forgot about it. And then a couple months later, she was doing a stage it concert actually, and she was like, hey, do you know that Goodnight Sun, Hello Moon song? And I was like, yeah, I've heard it, but I don't know it. And I printed out the lyrics and I worked on the harmonies, and I think we played through it one time before we performed it, and it was so easy how our voices came together on it. Like all of the Jen's little lilts or scoops, or I've known her for so long, I can kind of predict where they're going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was like that first performance, it just gelled. And then when it came time to make a set list for Siren songs, we're like, we have to do the Goodnight Sun, Hello Moon. It's new and it's fresh, and it came together so easily and beautifully. So that's kind of how it ended up on our set list, and then consequently the album. And then Jen is always so shy when she's like, well, what should our first single be? I don't know if it should be. And I'm like, oh my God, it has to be Goodnight Sun, Hello Moon. It's so good. But you can leave it up to me. I can be your cheerleader. Be like, we have to do one of your songs. It's so good.
All right, well, we're going to play that now, but any final words? What do you guys have planned for after the pause is over?
What do we have planned for? What? For
after when you can go out and roam around.
go forth into the world again. My honest to God answer is taking it day by day. The dream is that everybody can go back into the world and we can slowly start performing live again, and take this time while we're all kind of hunkered down to have our music reach people and touch their hearts and get them excited about that time.
Yeah.
And we can hopefully plan on, in the coming years, visiting everyone around the country that we haven't been able to see. Because, touring's kind of on pause.
I say Meredith's answer is better than mine, but it has been interesting that the single came out. We have 2 more singles coming out in the next few weeks. We're going to do a Kickstarter, I think, this week to support the album. And then the album comes out May 29th.
Yeah.
So, it's like we have to just figure out, everything was planned. We can't stop that. So we're just trying to figure out how we can keep it going and like try to stay afloat. And all of our touring is pushed off from May and then to July. And now we're just kind of like, okay. So trying to figure out how we can operate in this world.
Yeah, I like, I feel that people are reaching a lot of new audience members during this time, that, folks are just more engaged in the computer, that's all they have as far as entertainment goes. So I do feel like most artists are reaching a wider audience, and there are going to be more people out at their live shows, and there are going to be more opportunities to tour because, there's going to be a whole facet of people in another state that, want to hear you and want you to come play for them. So I do think that that's a cool, positive outcome. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Meredith, it was nice to meet you, and Jen,
Nice
I'll
to meet you too.
catch up with you. Love you, sister.
Let me go.
Siren Songs, new album coming out May 29th. In the meantime, this is the awesome single. It's called Goodnight Sun, Hello Moon, right here on the Listen Local radio show.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, babes.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
And do a special shout out to all the Patreon people. I have 43 followers now that are
Hey.
literally keeping me alive and keeping me with a job right now. So.
Right. I know. I keep saying, I'm like, Patreon is my life, or after I don't even know what I would do without it right now.
It is. And it's like, I just love all you Patreon people. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, go tell your hubby you can bring the kids back.
I know, I will. Send him a message. Actually, maybe I'll wait 5 minutes just because.
That's the me time.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.